Today's story is so tense and unforgiving, it turned a dying frontier town into a witness of legend. Somewhere between dust, whiskey, and fear. This was a place where the past never stayed buried, and danger waited for anyone bold or foolish enough to challenge it. It all began with a few mocking words, nothing more than an insult in a saloon, yet enough to awaken something that had been sleeping for 13 long years. Before we kick off this adventure, don't forget to hit like and drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. The old man sat by himself at a corner table, 70 years worn into his bones. A gray beard framed his face, his hands shaking just enough to sell the lie. 3 empty whiskey bottles stood before him, a 4th still half full. To anyone glancing his way, he was nothing special. Just another broken drunk wasting away in a frontier saloon, harmless, pitiful, already forgotten. But the gun belt resting at his waist told a different story. Worn leather hugged his hips. Too cold. 45s rode low, tied tight against his thighs. Professional, deliberate, the kind of rig only real gunmen bothered with. No one paid it any mind. No one ever did. He was just an old man drinking himself toward the grave, waiting for time to finish what age had started. Then 3 young men pushed through the doors. Cale Whitner, Ross Whitner, and Emmett Vale. Early 20s, loud voices, easy swagger, pistols riding high. They walked like men hunting a reputation, searching for a victim, eager for a quick kill to carve their names into rumor. They spotted the old drunk and saw exactly what they wanted. A target, an opening, a story waiting to be written. "Look at this grandpa," Cale Whitner announced, his voice carrying across the room. "Strapped up like he knows what he's doing, like he's somebody, just a sad old fool playing dress-up." The saloon fell silent. Nearly 20 sets of eyes turned at once. Jedediah Rusk behind the bar, working girls frozen mid-step, cowboys, traders, drifters from the Dry Creek crowd. Everyone watched. Everyone waited. Everyone knew something was coming. Something ugly. Something bloody. Something they would be talking about for years. The old man didn't look up. He didn't answer. He simply poured another measure of whiskey. His hand was steady. Steady despite the years, despite the alcohol, despite the insults. Steady as stone, steady as steel, steady as death itself. Cale stepped closer until he loomed over the table. "I'm talking to you, Grandpa. You deaf? Too stupid? Or just too drunk to listen when real men speak?" At last, the old man raised his eyes. Pale blue, cold, ancient. Eyes that had watched 41 men die and felt no fear at the thought of 3 more. Cale's grin faltered. "Son," the old man said quietly, "you've just made a terrible mistake. And in about 5 minutes, all 3 of you are going to understand why before any of you clear leather. Now hold on. If this story has you hooked, tap that like button. And if you're new to Wild West Radio, subscribe and ride with us. Drop a comment telling us what country you're listening from. These stories travel farther than bullets ever did. Don't move. This is where everything changes. Red Rock, Arizona Territory. September 1888. The saloon was called Last Chance, a fitting name for a town already halfway dead. 30 buildings, maybe 100 souls. Most of them waiting to leave, waiting for a reason, waiting for anywhere, except here. Holt Granger had been drinking in that saloon for 13 years, ever since 1875. Since the day he hung up his guns, decided 41 kills were enough, and swore he would never draw again. Never kill again. Never be lightning again. Just Holt. Old Holt. Drunk Holt. Harmless Holt. Nobody Holt. Lightning had been the legend. The fastest gun in the West, maybe the fastest who ever lived. They said he killed 41 men in 26 years. No ambushes, no murders in the dark, clean fights, fast draws, face-to-face duels, each one quicker than the last. Proof that speed was both a gift and a curse. Something you could never unlearn, no matter how badly you wanted to forget. Granger had fought in the Mexican War, 1846 to 1848. A sharpshooter. Best shot in his regiment. He could knock a rider clean off a horse at 100 yards, hit a moving target in near darkness, make impossible shots look routine. That was where the name came from. Lightning. Because when he struck, it was fast, precise, and final. After the war, he drifted. Became a gunfighter, not an outlaw, not a lawman. Just a man with a gun, a hired protector, an enforcer. Sometimes the work was righteous. Sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes the work had been righteous. Sometimes it hadn't. But it was always done with discipline, always clean, always precise, always fast, faster than anyone who ever lived. Holt Granger laid his guns down in 1875, at the age of 57, after kill number 41. The man's name had been Amos Ketch, 22 years old, quick, talented, confident, dead. Holt had shot him, watched him crumple, watched the life leave his eyes, and something inside Holt shattered, something final, something that said enough. No more. Never again. That was when Holt came to Red Rock. He rented a small room above the saloon, lived off what savings he had left, and drank every single day. He tried to forget 41 faces, tried to silence 41 ghosts, tried to become nobody, just an old man with a bottle, a relic collecting dust, a fading memory of something that once mattered. That illusion held, until 3 reckless boys walked through the doors hunting a reputation, hunting a famous gunfighter, not knowing the drunk old man in the corner was the very legend they sought, not knowing lightning was about to wake, not knowing they had just challenged death itself. And real death doesn't need to be sober, it only needs to be provoked. Cale Whitner was 28 and believed he was the fastest gun in the territory. He'd killed 2 men, both ambushes, both bullets in the back. But he told the stories differently. In his version, he was a gunfighter, a quick-draw artist, a killer. His brother Ross Whitner believed him. Their friend Emmett Vale believed him too. And belief without truth is a dangerous thing. "You wearing those guns for show?" Cale sneered at Holt. "Or do you actually think you can use them? An old man like you probably can't even see the target. You'd shoot yourself trying to draw." Ross laughed. Emmett laughed. The encouragement fed Cale's courage. "Tell you what, Grandpa," Cale continued. "Take off that gun belt and hand it over to real men. Men who know how to handle iron. Not washed-up drunks pretending they were something they never were." Holt took another drink. The whiskey burned going down. A good burn, a familiar burn. 13 years of it. The kind that dulled memories, muted ghosts, softened the ache of having once been lightning. But it couldn't dull instinct. It couldn't erase training. It couldn't undo muscle memory carved in over 26 years. "I said take off the guns," Cale repeated, louder now, angrier. His hand drifted toward his pistol. "Or I'll take them myself after I put a bullet through your drunk skull." Behind the bar, Jedediah Rusk spoke up, tense, knowing what the others did not. "Cale, leave him alone. Let the old man drink. He's not bothering anyone. There's no need for trouble." "Shut up," Cale snapped. "This doesn't concern you. This is between me and Grandpa here. Between a man and a relic. Between the future and the past. And the past is about to learn where it belongs, 6 feet under." Emmett Vale stepped forward. Younger than Cale. Quicker, too. And unlike the others, he actually had some skill. "Yeah, old man," Emmett said. "Cale gave you a chance, an out. But you're too drunk or too stupid to take it. So now we do this the hard way. We go outside, Main Street. Sun's up, witnesses everywhere. A fair fight. 3 against 1. Quick, easy, famous." Holt finished his whiskey, set the glass down, and rose slowly. His bones creaked, age showed itself plainly. But his eyes, those pale blue eyes, were suddenly clear, sharp, fully awake. "Outside, then," Holt said, his voice calm and deadly. "Main Street. But understand this. This isn't a challenge. This is an execution. Yours. All 3 of you. And when it's done, you'll be legends. 3 men killed by lightning, thunder fast, dead as stone." The saloon erupted into whispers. Lightning Granger. The legend. The ghost. The myth. The drunk old man was Holt Granger. 41 kills. The fastest gun who ever lived. Retired for 13 years, yet still here. Still breathing. Still lethal. Cale's face drained of color. "You're lying. Lightning Granger is dead. Been dead for years. You're just a drunk telling stories, trying to scare us." "He's not dead," Jedediah said quietly, with certainty. "He's been drinking here every day for 13 years. Same table, same corner, same bottles. I knew who he was. I kept his secret. Let him be forgotten. Let him have peace. And you boys just destroyed that. You woke something that should have stayed asleep." Ross Whitner edged toward the door, fear finally breaking through. He was smart enough to be afraid. "Cale, maybe we should go. There's no shame in walking away. No shame in—" "Shut up!" Cale shouted, pride crushing reason, ego smothering survival. He's 70 years old. He's drunk. Even if he was lightning, which he's not, he's too slow, too finished. We're young. We're fast. 3 guns against 1. Numbers don't lie. We kill him. We become legends. Cale Whitner said through clenched teeth. "We'll be the men who killed lightning." Emmett Vale hadn't said a word. He was watching Holt Granger, watching his hands, the stillness, the balance, the way his weight was set. He took in the posture, the economy of movement, every detail that screamed danger. Emmett was the sharpest of the 3, the quickest too. But more than that, he noticed things. And what he noticed chilled him. "Those hands aren't shaking," Emmett said quietly. "Look at them. Steady, like stone, like steel. Alcohol should make them tremble. Age should make them tremble. But they're solid. That isn't luck. That's training. That's muscle memory. That's real." Holt turned toward the door and walked with purpose. Slow, deliberate, each step measured. Nothing wasted, nothing rushed. Just professional motion. Gunfighter motion. Lightning motion. "Outside," Holt said. "Main Street. 5 minutes. You come or you run. Either works. Running is smarter. Running keeps you alive. But if you come, if you draw on me, understand this, you die. All 3 of you. Before your guns clear leather. Before your fingers find the trigger. Before you even know you're dead." That's a promise. That's certainty. That's lightning speaking. Last chance, boys. Last chance to live. Choose wisely. Main Street in Red Rock was dirt and dust, wooden buildings lining both sides. The saloon, general store, bank, hotel, livery, all weathered, all fading, all dying along with the town. But today that street would witness something else. Something violent. Something historic. Something people would talk about as long as Red Rock still breathed. Holt walked to the center of the street and set his position. Nothing at his back, clean sightlines ahead. The sun angled so it didn't blind. Perfect placement. Tactical advantage. Everything learned across 26 years, everything remembered despite 13 years of drinking. Muscle memory doesn't forget. Instinct doesn't die. Lightning doesn't fade. People poured out of buildings, drawn by whispers, rumors, the chance to witness a legend. 30, 40, 50 souls lining the street, standing on porches, peering from windows, silent, waiting, knowing they were about to see history or death. Sheriff Nolan Trask came running, 50 years old, a good man, an honest lawman. "Holt, don't do this," Trask said. "They're just kids. Stupid kids, but still kids. Don't make me arrest you. Don't throw away 13 years of peace for this." "They challenged me," Holt replied, calm, hollow, already decided. "They called me out. They wanted lightning. They're getting lightning. The law says a challenged man has the right to answer. This is my answer. Quick, clean, legal." "They're drunk," Trask argued. "They don't know what they're doing. Let me take them in for disturbing the peace. Let this end without blood." "Peace ended the moment cold steel touched my gun," Holt said. "The moment he threatened me. The moment he demanded I disarm. You threaten a gunfighter, even a retired one. You accept the consequences. This is the consequence. This is the price." 3 figures appeared at the far end of the street. Cale Whitner in the middle, Ross Whitner to his right, Emmett Vale to his left, spread out, coordinated. Someone had trained them. Someone had shown them the basics. But training and talent are different things, and talent and legend are worlds apart. They advanced slowly, 50 feet, 40, 30. The sun burned overhead. Dust drifted on the wind. The crowd held its breath. And Holt Granger stood perfectly still, hands relaxed at his sides, casual, as if this meant nothing. As if he'd done it 41 times before. Because he had. And 42 through 44 would be no harder, no slower, no less final. Lightning was about to strike. And lightning never misses. 20 feet now. Close enough to see faces, close enough to see fear, close enough to see the truth. Cale was sweating. Ross had gone pale. Emmett calculated, studying Holt's stance, his placement, his hands. Everything confirming the legend was real. "Last chance," Holt said, his voice carrying through the silence. "Walk away. Apologize. Leave town. Live. Or draw and die. Simple choice, simple consequences. What's it going to be?" "We're not afraid of you," Cale said, though his voice betrayed him. "You're just an old man. Just a drunk. Just nobody. We're going to kill you. We're going to make our names. We're going to be famous." "You will be," Holt corrected. "But you'll be dead." "Famous," Holt Granger said evenly. "Famous for being fools. Famous for challenging lightning. Famous for dying fast. Towns will tell your story. Songs will get written. About 3 young idiots who believed age mattered more than skill. Who thought numbers guaranteed victory. Who believed wrong, chose wrong, and died wrong. Quickly, for the first time since stepping onto the street, Emmett Vale spoke. "I don't think we should do this," he said. "I don't think we can win. Look at him. Look at how he stands. Look at his hands. Look at his eyes. He isn't afraid. He isn't nervous. He isn't guessing. He's ready. Like this is just another Tuesday. Like killing us is routine." "Shut up, Emmett," Cale Whitner snapped. "You're backing out. Showing yellow. Fine. Ross and I will finish this. We don't need you. 2 against 1 are still good odds. Winning odds. 3 against 1. Emmett replied, resigned but loyal despite the fear. I'm not leaving. We came together. We finished together. If we die, we die together. But I'm telling you, we're about to die. And it'll be fast. Faster than we can believe. Faster than we can react. Faster than lightning. That's the spirit, Holt said. There was no mockery in his voice, no pride, only acknowledgement. Respect for loyalty. Respect for courage in the face of fear. You're a good man. The wrong man. A dead man. But a good man. I'll make it quick. I'll make it clean. That's all I can offer. That's all anyone gets when they face lightning. Cale's hand slid toward his gun. Toward death. Toward the end. Holt's hands moved first. Those steady, practiced, legendary hands were already in motion. Bang. 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 3 shots, 3 strikes, 3 bodies dropping, all before Cale Whitner's pistol cleared leather, all before Ross Whitner found his grip, all before Emmett Vale finished his draw. Lightning struck, thunder followed, and the 3 young men learned what the 41 before them had learned, that legends may retire, but legends never die. The first shot tore into Cale's chest, center mass, heart shot, perfect placement. He flew backward, gun half drawn, surprise frozen on his face. Dead before he hit the dirt. He never understood what happened, never saw it coming. Just darkness. Just the end. Proof that arrogance kills faster than bullets. The second shot caught Ross in the throat. He was drawing, almost ready, almost firing, but almost means nothing against lightning. He clawed at his neck as blood poured through his fingers, gurgling, collapsing forward. 30 seconds to die. 30 seconds to understand. 30 seconds to regret. Then nothing. The third shot struck Emmett square in the forehead. Clean, precise, merciful. He had been the fastest of the 3. He had cleared leather. He had aimed. He had squeezed the trigger. But Holt Granger was faster, by half a second, by an eternity. Emmett's bullet kicked dirt, harmless. Surprise crossed his face, then vanished. Death came instantly, the kindest of the 3. Emmett deserved mercy. He was brave. He was skilled. He simply wasn't lightning. 3 bodies lay in the street. 3 young men, 28, 25, 26, dead in under 3 seconds. Less time than a breath, less time than a thought. Just 3 flashes, 3 reports, 3 souls gone. Holt stood with his gun smoking, still raised, still ready. Habit, training. Make sure they're down, make sure they're dead. No surprises, no wounded man firing back, no mistakes. After a count of 3, he lowered the gun and holstered it. Smooth, practiced, unmistakably lightning. Silence. Absolute silence. 50 witnesses stood frozen. No one breathed. No one moved. No one could believe what they had seen. A 70-year-old drunk had just killed 3 armed men. 3 men who drew first. Faster than eyes could follow. Faster than thought could keep up. Faster than the legend itself had promised. But the legend had just proved itself true. Lightning was real. Lightning was alive. Lightning was deadly as ever. Age didn't matter. Whiskey didn't matter. 13 years of retirement didn't matter. What mattered was speed, skill, muscle memory. 41 kills plus 3 more. 44 in total. 44 men who challenged lightning. 44 men who learned. 44 men who died. Holt Granger stood alone in the street. Gun smoke drifting around him, bodies at his feet, witnesses who would carry this story for the rest of their lives. Sheriff Nolan Trask approached carefully, hands visible, respectful, non-threatening. "Holt," he said, steady but shaken, "you need to give me the gun." "Hand over the gun," the sheriff said carefully. "You'll need to come with me. We have to make this official, by the book. Self-defense or not, it has to be documented." Holt Granger nodded, calm and hollow, already finished with the moment, already moving past it the way he had with 41 before. "They challenged me," he said evenly. "They drew first. 50 witnesses saw it. They'll all testify. It was legal, clean, justified." "I know," Sheriff Nolan Trask replied. "I know it was lawful. I know it was self-defense. But procedure still matters. I need a statement. I need it written down." "Fine," Holt said, cutting him off. "I'll come in. I'll give my statement. I'll do whatever the law requires. But understand this. Those three wanted lightning. They wanted the legend. They wanted the reputation. They got exactly what they asked for. Exactly what they deserved. This is what happens when you challenge a gunfighter. Any gunfighter, even a 70-year-old retired one. This is the lesson. This is the warning. Proof that some things don't die. They don't fade. They don't forget. Around them, the Red Rock hold murmured, voices overlapping as the news spread. Lightning had killed 3 men in 3 seconds. 3 shots, 3 bodies. The fastest draw anyone had ever seen. Faster than imagination. The legend confirmed, the myth made flesh. History carved into dirt and blood. Jedediah Rusk stepped forward from the saloon, his face heavy with regret. "Holt, I'm sorry. I should have warned them. I should have told them who you were before they pushed you." "It wouldn't have mattered," Holt said quietly. "They wouldn't have believed you. Young men never do. They don't listen. They don't learn until it's too late. I was the same once, 44 years ago. Thought I was fast. Thought I was untouchable. Thought I was special." He paused, the memory sharp as broken glass. "Then I met a real gunfighter, a man named Vernon Sloan, 40 years old, retired, drunk, looked harmless. 3 men challenged him. He killed all 3, just like this, just like today. That's when I learned the truth. Legends don't die. They just sleep. And when you wake them, they kill you. Same lesson those 3 just learned. Same lesson everyone learns eventually, if they live long enough." Holt walked toward the jail with Sheriff Nolan Trask at his side, leaving 3 bodies in the street, leaving 50 witnesses stunned, leaving a town permanently changed. He left behind proof that lightning was real, that it was alive, deadly, unmatched. No one faster had ever lived. No one faster ever would. Lightning was singular, once in a lifetime, a legend proven true, and real legends never truly retire. They wait, and when called, they answer, fast as lightning, deadly as thunder. The jail was small, 2 cells, a desk, a single chair. Trask sat down, pulled out paper and pencil, and began to write. "Tell me what happened," he said. "From the beginning, all of it." Holt sat across from him, still calm, still empty, still counting, adding 3 faces to 41, collecting ghosts. 3 men entered the saloon, he said. Cale Whitner, Ross Whitner, Emmett Vale. They insulted me, called me out, demanded I remove my guns, threatened violence. I accepted the challenge. We went to the street. They drew. I drew faster. They died. That's it. "Why didn't you walk away?" Trask asked. "You had an out. You could have avoided this. You could have let them live. You could have kept your 13 years of peace." "They demanded I disarm," Holt answered. "That's a death sentence in this territory. If I disarm, I die. Someone kills me, takes my guns, takes my name, takes everything. I don't disarm, never have, never will. That's suicide. That's an invitation, That's weakness. Wolves smell weakness. Wolves attack weakness. I'm not weak. I'm not prey. I'm not a victim. I'm lightning. I always will be. Even at 70. Even drunk. Even retired. Still lightning. Still deadly. And I won't die for someone else's ego. Trask nodded slowly. He didn't like it, but he understood it. What now? He asked. You going back to drinking? Back to forgetting? Back to peace? If the town lets me, Holt said. If people leave me alone. If no one else decides to challenge the legend. But they won't. This changes everything. Now every young gun in the territory will come looking, trying, dying. That's how it always works. One kill brings more challenges. More challenges bring more kills. The cycle keeps spinning until someone faster shows up. Someone luckier. Someone who finally gets me. Then I die. Then it's over. Then I'm forgotten. That's the future. That's inevitable. That's the end. You could leave, Trask suggested. Leave Red Rock, leave the territory, disappear, change your name, start over, live in peace. I tried that, Holt said quietly. 13 years didn't change a thing. Holt Granger said quietly. Peace doesn't exist for men like me. We carry violence. We draw it in. We create it, even when we don't want to. Even when we run from it. Even when we beg for a different life. It doesn't matter. We are what we are. Killers, gunfighters, lightning. You can't change that. You can't outrun it. You can't be anything else. Sheriff Nolan Trask finished writing, signed the paper, and slid it across the desk. You're free, he said. Self-defense, justified, legal, go. But Holt, be careful. This town just remembered who you are. The territory will know by tomorrow, the country by next week. Every fast gun with an ego will come looking. They'll try, they'll die. Your peace is over. Your retirement is finished. Lightning is back, whether you want it or not. Holt returned to the saloon. Same table, same corner, same bottles. But nothing felt the same. Everything had changed. Eyes followed him. Whispers spread. Fingers pointed. The legend. The myth. Lightning. Alive. Real. Deadly. No longer invisible. No longer forgotten. No longer at peace. Jedediah Rusk set a fresh bottle in front of him. On the house, he said. Always. For as long as you drink here. It's an honor having you. An honor knowing you. An honor serving lightning. Don't call me that, Holt said, exhausted, crushed beneath the weight. Just call me Holt. Treat me normal. Let me be nobody, please. Jedediah shook his head. Honest, gentle, sad. I can't. Not anymore. The town knows. The territory will know. You're lightning again, whether you like it or not. Whether you want it or not. That's reality now. That's your life. You can't go back. You can't undo today. Not after 50 people saw it, not after what they'll tell. Stories spread, legends grow, and you're trapped in it. Forever. Holt poured the whiskey and drank. It tasted different now. Like ash. Like defeat. Like the knowledge that 13 years of trying to forget had been erased in 3 seconds. 3 shots. 3 bodies. 41 plus 3 made 44. 44 ghosts. 44 faces. 44 men he would carry until the day he died. He thought about Cale Whitner, about arrogance, about stupidity, about dying for pride. Cale didn't deserve death. He deserved a lesson, humiliation, a chance to live and learn and be better. But gunfights don't teach. They don't offer second chances. They teach one lesson only, final, permanent, delivered through death. He thought about Ross Whitner, about loyalty, about following a brother who was wrong. Ross was a follower, probably a good man, probably would have walked away on his own. But loyalty killed him. Love killed him. Brotherhood killed him. He thought about Emmett Vale, about courage, about skill, about dying despite doing everything right. Emmett almost made it, almost got the shot off, almost lived. But almost isn't enough against lightning. Almost still means dead. Almost still means failure. Almost still becomes ghost number 44. 3 young men, 3 lives ended, 3 families shattered, 3 futures erased. All because Holt Granger couldn't stay forgotten, couldn't stay quiet, couldn't let the insult pass, had to prove something, had to be lightning one more time, had to add 3 more to the count. Adding weight, adding burden, adding to the crushing curse of being the fastest gun who ever lived. And hating himself for it. Every day, every drink, every breath. They came the next morning. 5 young men, 20 to 30 years old, standing outside the saloon, waiting, wanting, challenging. "Lightning," one of them shouted. "Come out. Face us. Prove you're real. Prove you're the fastest. Prove the legend's true." Holt was inside, already drunk, and already trying to forget yesterday, and already failing. He looked at Jedediah. "How many?" "5, Jedediah said. "All armed, all young, all stupid. Ignore them. Stay inside. Let me handle this." "I can't," Holt said. "They know I'm here. They know I heard them. If I don't answer, I'm a coward." The word spreads. More come, more challenge, more die. Better to end this now, quick, clean, final. "You can't kill 5 men," Jedediah argued. "Not even you." "I can," Holt cut in. "And I will, if they force me, if they draw, if they make me. But maybe they're smarter than yesterday. Maybe they'll listen. Maybe they'll learn without dying. Maybe." He stood, crossed the room, pushed the door open, and stepped into the sunlight. 5 young men waited. 5 men stood in the street, spaced wide, moving with purpose. Their formation was deliberate, professional. These were not reckless boys like yesterday. These men were trained, skilled, dangerous. For the first time since stepping outside, Holt Granger recognized a real threat. "I'm Holt Granger," he said clearly. "You came looking for lightning. Here I am. But understand this. If you draw, you die. All 5 of you. It won't be close. It won't be fair. It won't be sport. It'll be fast. It'll be final. Just like the 44 before you. Everyone who ever challenged me met the same end. So I'm giving you the same choice I gave yesterday. Walk away. Live. Tell people you saw lightning and were smart enough not to die. Or stay. Draw. Die. Become numbers 45 through 49. Become footnotes. Become warnings. Become ghosts I carry for the rest of my life. Decide." The man who seemed to lead them, young, maybe 25, stepped forward, palms open. "We're not here to fight," he said. "We're here to ask if the stories are true, to ask if you really are the fastest, if the legend is real or just talk. We saw the bodies yesterday, 3 men dead. We heard what people said, but we need to hear it from you. Are you really lightning? Really 44 kills? Really the fastest gun who ever lived?" Holt stared at him, caught off guard. He had expected challenge, violence, another reason to draw. Instead, he found curiosity, questions, a chance, perhaps the last one, to avoid killing again. For the first time in 24 hours, something like relief washed through him. "Yeah," Holt said. "I'm lightning, 44. The fastest. And I'm tired? Tired of killing? Tired of proving anything? Tired of being a legend? All I want is peace. Is that really too much to ask? The 5 men eased their hands away from their guns. Their postures softened. Respect replaced tension. We don't want to challenge you, the leader said. We want to learn. We want to understand how you survived. 44 fights. How you stayed alive. How you became what you are. Holt nodded slowly. Maybe this was something else. Maybe this was redemption. Maybe there was a purpose left beyond drinking and waiting to die. Come inside, Holt said. I'll tell you. I'll teach you. But not about speed. Not about killing. About survival. About living. About not becoming me. About choosing better. They followed him into the saloon, gathered around his table, ordered drinks, and listened. Truly listened. No ego. No challenge. Just men trying to understand. Lesson 1, Holt said. Don't answer every insult. Every fight is a roll of the dice. Every draw is a chance to die. It doesn't matter how fast you are or how skilled. Luck matters. Light matters. Wind matters. 1,000 things you can't control matter. Fight 100 times, and one day you lose. One day you die. So you avoid 99 fights. You only take the one you can't walk away from. The one where not fighting is worse than dying. They leaned in. Lesson 2, Holt continued. Speed isn't everything. Position matters. Light matters. Distance matters. Psychology matters. When you face a gunfighter, you use everything. Sun, shadow, words, fear. You make him doubt. You make him uncomfortable. You make him lose before the draw. You don't win because you're faster. You win because you're smarter. Silence filled the table. Lesson 3, Holt said quietly. Every kill costs something. A piece of your soul. A piece of who you were meant to be. You kill 44 men. You carry 44 ghosts, 44 faces, 44 regrets. That weight crushes you, turns you into a drunk, into a ruin, into a warning. Don't become me. Be better. Use your gun to protect, not to prove, not to build a name. Reputation is a curse. Reputation attracts violence. Reputation gets you killed. Stay unknown. Stay quiet. Stay alive. The 5 men absorbed every word. One of them, the youngest, barely 20, finally spoke. If you could go back, he asked, if you could start over, what would you do differently? Holt didn't hesitate. Everything, he said. I'd never fight that first duel. I'd never build a reputation. I'd never become lightning. I'd be nobody. Live a nobody life. Die a nobody death. And I'd be happier, peaceful, free. That's the truth. Fame is poison. Legends are curses. Being the fastest gun meant nothing except dying alone, surrounded by ghosts. Learn from me, Holt Granger said softly. Be better than me. Be anything except me. The 5 young men left that afternoon changed, warned, taught, sobered by truth. They would tell others what they had heard. They would pass on the lessons. Maybe they would stop fights before they started. Maybe they would save lives. Maybe Holt's 44 deaths would mean something beyond violence, beyond numbers, beyond a curse. But more would come. Holt knew it. More challengers, more young guns, more arrogant fools. Some would listen, most would not. Most would draw, most would die. And Holt would kill them, add them to the count, add them to the waiting, add them to the crushing weight he already carried. Sheriff Nolan Trask came by that evening. You should leave? he said quietly. You really should. Today was calm. Today was lucky. Tomorrow won't be. Next week won't be. The territory knows you're alive. The country will know soon. They'll come, all of them. Every fast gun, every would-be legend, every fool with an ego. You'll kill them, or they'll kill you. Either way, it ends bad. It ends bloody. It ends with you dead, or wishing you were. Leave, please, while you still can. Where would I go? Holt asked. Where can lightning hide? Nowhere. Anywhere I go, someone recognizes me. Someone challenges me. Someone dies. You can't outrun a legend. It follows you. It finds you. It kills. Better to stay. Accept what's coming. Face it head on. If I die here, so be it. At least it's familiar. At least it's home. This is where I chose to retire. As good a place as any. Trask nodded. Sad, understanding, resigned. Then I'll do what I can, he said. I'll keep the peace. I'll prevent challenges. I'll protect you as far as the law allows. As far as possible. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve to be hunted for things you did 40 years ago. You're a good man, Holt. Despite the killings. Despite the violence. Despite being lightning. You're a good man trying to be better. Trying to find peace. And I'll help you, however I can. For however long you've got. Thank you, Holt said. And he meant it. He was grateful. For kindness. For loyalty. For someone who could see past the legend and find the man underneath. Someone who saw Holt, not lightning. That night, Holt dreamed of 44 ghosts. 44 faces. 44 men. Young and old. Skilled and unskilled. Good and evil. Each one dead by his hand. They surrounded him, pressed in close, and asked the same question with one voice. Was it worth it? Was speed worth their deaths? Was the legend worth their loss? Was being the fastest gun who ever lived worth destroying 44 lives? Holt had no answer. No justification, no excuse. Only regret. Only sorrow. Only the unbearable weight of being exactly what he was. Lightning Granger, the fastest gun, the deadliest legend, and the most miserable man alive. Weeks passed, then more. No new challengers came. The word had spread, not only about 3 men who died, but about 5 young men who listened, who learned, who walked away alive. Stories of lightning teaching instead of killing, of a legend choosing wisdom over blood. Maybe, just maybe, that was the better story. The stronger one. The one that mattered. Holt kept drinking, but not the same way. Less desperate, less self-destructive, more thoughtful. He drank to remember instead of forget, to honor instead of escape, to acknowledge the 44 ghosts instead of running from them. He began writing letters to the families of the men he had killed when he knew their names, when he could find an address. He apologized. He explained. He did not justify. He did not excuse. He simply acknowledged. He told them he remembered. That their sons, husbands, fathers mattered. That they were not forgotten. That they were not just numbers. Some families wrote back with rage, cursing him, promising vengeance. Holt accepted it. He deserved it. He expected it. He did not argue. He did not defend himself. He read their words, absorbed their pain, carried their hatred, and added it to the weight he already bore. But a few, very few, wrote back differently, with forgiveness, with understanding, with gratitude for remembering, for caring, for acknowledging their loss. Those letters broke him. They made him cry. They made him wonder if redemption was possible, if forgiveness could exist, if peace could be earned through suffering, through truth, through change. Jedediah Rusk watched all of it. The slow transformation, the quiet unraveling. He saw the legend becoming human. He saw lightning turning back into Holt. "You're doing something important," Jedediah said one night. Something meaningful. Turning violence into teaching, turning death into warning, turning a legend into a lesson. That matters. That helps. That gives 44 deaths a meaning beyond numbers. "Does it?" Holt Granger asked. His voice carried doubt, hope, and desperation all at once. "Does anything I do now change what I did then? Does teaching 5 men balance killing 44? Do letters bring the dead back? Does admitting guilt undo murder?" "No," Jedediah Rusk said, honest and gentle. "Nothing undoes the past. Nothing brings back the dead. Nothing erases violence. But you're not trying to erase it. You're trying to balance it. You're trying to stop future deaths by teaching the present. You're trying to make the legend mean something beyond fear, beyond blood, beyond curse. That's noble. That's worthy. That's redemption. Not forgiveness, not absolution, but redemption, making the rest of your life better than the beginning. Making the ending different from the middle. Making Lightning Granger mean teacher instead of only killer. That matters. Believe me, it matters." Holt wanted to believe. He wanted to think that 44 deaths could teach instead of only haunt. That they could prevent instead of only curse. That they could mean something beyond violence, beyond legend, beyond lightning. Maybe Jedediah was right. Maybe redemption was possible. Maybe peace could be earned. Maybe, just maybe, the fastest gun who ever lived could become something else. Something better. Something worthy. Not through speed, but through wisdom. Not through killing, but through teaching. Not through fear, but through saving. It was hope, small, fragile, uncertain. But hope was enough. For now, for today, for continuing. 3 months passed. December 1888. Holt Granger was 70, still alive, still drinking, still teaching. 5 young men became 20. 20 became 50. Word spread differently now. Not about challenging lightning, but about learning from him. Not about killing a legend, but understanding the cost of speed, the weight of violence, the price of reputation. Young guns still came, but differently. Respectfully. Curious, seeking wisdom instead of a duel. And Holt taught them all, patiently, honestly, brutally honest, about 44 kills, 44 regrets, 44 ghosts. About the curse of being the fastest, about the price of legend. Some listened, truly listened. They changed paths. Hung up their guns, became farmers, merchants, husbands, fathers. Better men than Holt had been, made better choices than he ever did. Those were victories, small, quiet victories, but victories all the same. Others didn't listen. They chased glory elsewhere, challenged the wrong men, died young, proved Holt's warnings true, became examples, became reasons, became stories that made others listen harder. Sheriff Nolan Trask saw the change. In Red Rock, in the territory, fewer shootings, fewer duels, fewer bodies in the street. "You're doing it," he told Holt one evening. "You're actually changing things, making a difference, making the West safer. Lightning Granger the teacher is more powerful than Lightning Granger the killer ever was." Holt wasn't sure. The weight was still there. The ghosts still came. He still woke at night to 44 faces staring back at him. But maybe Trask was right. Maybe teaching mattered. Maybe redemption was real. Maybe peace could be earned through suffering, through truth, through change. On Christmas Eve, 1888, Holt sat in the saloon, same table, same corner, but a different man. Still lightning, still fast, still deadly, but also a teacher, a warning, a living proof that speed wasn't destiny, that violence wasn't inevitable, that young men could choose differently, could live longer, could die happier. Snow fell over Red Rock, a rare Arizona snowfall. Holt poured whiskey, raised his glass, and whispered to the empty air. "Thank you," he said softly. "Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for showing me the cost. Thank you for giving me a purpose beyond killing, beyond legend, beyond lightning. You died, but your deaths mean something now. They teach something now. They prevent something now. That's not forgiveness. It's not absolution. But it's something." He lowered the glass. "And something," Holt Granger said, "is better than nothing." The snow kept falling, and for the first time in decades, lightning rested. Knowing you were remembered, knowing your lives mattered, knowing the world shifted because you passed through it. "Thank you," Holt Granger whispered. "All 44 of you. Thank you for walking this long trail with me, my friends. Finally, let me send my deep thanks to you. Thank you for giving your time to this story. Some journeys shape us, and we hope this one left a mark on your heart. There are more paths ahead, more legends of love, hardship, and redemption beneath the western sky. Please subscribe, leave your thoughts, and travel with us once again. Thank you, and God bless. Aviso legal. Disclaimer. The stories presented here are creative expressions and may mix historical inspiration with dramatized scenes. AI tools contribute to some elements of voice, imagery, and structure. But every published story is refined by editors and creators to ensure authentic emotional impact. We honor YouTube's policies and do not generate deceptive likenesses or artificial depictions of real people. All audiovisual components are legally licensed. Any use, redistribution, or alteration of this content must be granted through written consent. Your presence here means a lot. Thank you for supporting artistic storytelling.